2020 Von. 2021 his brother dies. 2022
the investigation into Lil Durk has taken a dramatic turn, with the feds digging deep into his music, song titles, and social media posts to connect the dots between his lyrics and alleged actions. The latest revelations in a newly unsealed report suggest that Durk may have played a role in the death of Stefan Mack, a killing believed to be an act of revenge for the murder of his brother, D-Thing, back in January 2022. While Durk hasn't been charged yet, the feds are getting closer and the clock is ticking as his detention hearing approaches. The case is heating up and Durk could face serious consequences, with the possibility of even more charges being added. One key moment that's getting attention is a post Durk made on Instagram shortly after Mack's death. He shared a story that read for D-Thing, and it's seen as a tribute to his brother, but it's also being seen as a potential clue in the investigation. And then there's an Instagram live video where Durk is seen laughing and making cryptic comments. To many, this was a sign that he was mocking his enemies, further tying him to the violent incidents that have surrounded his life. The feds are now using these moments to build a timeline of events, and the more they dig, the clearer things are becoming. But the drama doesn't stop there. An old video surfaced showing King Von, a close friend of Durk's, shopping with 3 people linked to the death of Lil Pab. This raises a major red flag connecting Durk's crew to these violent acts. It's believed that Durk may have paid a significant amount of money to get revenge for his fallen friends. However, Durk's situation behind bars is causing concern. He's been moved to a new cell block with worse conditions, a decision that many think was made to protect him from becoming a target. Some believe this treatment is justified, especially considering the serious charges he's facing. Despite the overwhelming tension and the complicated nature of the situation surrounding King Von's death, both Quando Rondo and Lil Tim, 2 figures at the center of the controversy, have spoken out in recent interviews. Their comments have shed light on the emotional and psychological toll the tragedy has had on them, offering a more reflective and regretful perspective rather than one of defiance or celebration of Durk's legal struggles. For those not familiar with the backstory, the events leading to King Von's death on November 6, 2020, sparked a highly publicized and tragic conflict that has left an indelible mark on the hip-hop world. Lil Tim, who is associated with Quando Rondo, was involved in the shooting that claimed King Von's life. The incident occurred outside an Atlanta nightclub and immediately became a point of contention between the camps of Von, a close associate of Lil Durk, and Rondo, who has had a complicated relationship with Durk. Despite being on opposite sides of this conflict, both Rondo and Tim have recently expressed a deep sense of regret in interviews, revealing a side of them that many fans and critics hadn't seen before. Their reflections on the situation are not just about King Von's death, but about the broader consequences of violence, personal choices, and the relationships that have since been strained or destroyed by that fateful night. Lil Tim, in particular, has openly discussed the emotional toll of that night. In his interview, he mentioned that while the altercation that led to Von's death was a result of the escalating tension between the 2 camps, he believes that things could have been avoided. It didn't have to go down the way it did, Tim explained. He reflected on how the whole situation could have been diffused if cooler heads had prevailed. The gravity of his statement revealed a deeper understanding of the situation that many fans might not have expected. Tim didn't shy away from the fact that lives were lost, and the ramifications of that night stretched far beyond the physical violence. Tim's words were not about absolving himself or placing blame elsewhere, but about acknowledging the irreparable damage that the shooting caused. He admitted that, in hindsight, he wished the violence had never occurred. While Tim's comments might have come too late for some to consider them genuine, for others, his reflection was a sign of growth, realizing that the cycle of violence was not something worth continuing. His acknowledgement of regret was seen by many as a step towards accountability, something that is often missing in the world of hip-hop, where bravado and toughness are usually prioritized over vulnerability and remorse. Quando Rondo, the rapper who has been heavily associated with Tim in the incident, shared a similar sentiment. Known for his close ties to Tim, Rondo has also felt the weight of King Von's death, though his feelings have been complicated by the ongoing beef with Durk and his camp. In his interview, Rondo emphasized that he never intended for things to escalate to violence. "We could have talked it out," he said, echoing Tim's sentiment that the conflict didn't need to end the way it did. Rondo's remarks resonated with fans who had seen him as a divisive figure in the ongoing drama with Durk, but his honesty in acknowledging the possibility of a different outcome added depth to the situation. Rondo's reflections weren't just about Von's death, but about the overall culture of violence that has permeated the world they live in. "The streets ain't the way," Rondo stated, urging his fans and peers to think about the bigger picture and the long-term consequences of their actions. It's clear that, like Tim, he's come to recognize that the cycle of violence and retaliation only leads to more heartbreak and loss. Yet, despite their words of regret, the tension between Rondo and Durk remains, and things are not nearly as resolved as their reflective comments might suggest. For Durk, the death of King Von remains a painful and personal wound. Vaughn was not just a fellow rapper but a close friend and collaborator. The loss has clearly had a profound impact on Durk, and the lingering animosity toward those involved in the death of Vaughn is still strong. Durk's legal troubles only add to the complexity of the situation, as the rapper is now battling legal issues while simultaneously trying to maintain his reputation and loyalty to his fallen friend. This has left him at odds with both Rondo and Tim, whose interviews, while reflective, don't erase the pain caused by the events surrounding Vaughn's death. As much as Rondo and Tim have expressed regret, their words do little to mend the fractured relationships they have with Durk and his camp. For Durk, the act of reconciliation might not even be a consideration. The tension remains palpable, especially as Durk's legal battles continue to unfold. The situation with Lil Durk has become a broader conversation about loyalty, revenge, and personal growth in a world where the stakes are always high and violence is often seen as a means of resolving disputes. But beyond the personal grievances and regrets, the tension between Durk and Rondo is a reminder of how deeply entrenched the cycle of violence can be, especially in the world of hip-hop, where street codes and personal beefs often play out in public view. Rondo, despite his words of remorse, remains in the eye of the storm, dealing with the fallout of his association with the King Von situation. And Durk, as the leader of OTF and a major figure in the industry, has a lot riding on the resolution of this conflict, not just for personal reasons, but also for his career and reputation. Despite Rondo and Tim's attempts to express regret, the scars of the past are not easily healed. The tension between the two camps is far from over, and it seems that their rivalry will continue to simmer beneath the surface. While both Tim and Rondo have publicly stated that violence shouldn't have been the answer, their actions and the ongoing drama between them and Durk suggest otherwise. The situation remains a complicated web of personal and professional entanglements, with no clear resolution in sight. Fans of both camps continue to watch closely, waiting to see if these men will be able to move past their differences or if the cycle of violence and retaliation will continue to define their futures. The messages of regret may be a step in the right direction, but the road to healing is long, and the damage caused by that fateful night is not easily forgotten. Only time will tell if these rappers can find a way to reconcile, or if the tension between Durk, Rondo, and Tim will only grow more intense with each passing day. What really caught everyone's attention were text messages that surfaced showing that someone hired to get revenge for D-Thing had been paid by Durk. This information is a huge piece of evidence in the case, and it's not the only one. The feds are now looking at Durk's lyrics in a whole new light. Lyrics like "Look on the news and see your son screaming no, no" are being seen as a direct response to Quando Rondo's emotional reaction to the death of Lil Pab. It's clear that the feds are taking Durk's music seriously as part of their investigation. Things got even more intense when Brick Baby, a rapper close to Durk, admitted that he would have given Quando Rondo's location to Durk if asked. This only adds fuel to the fire, showing how deep the ties run between Durk and those around him. As the investigation unfolds, more and more people are distancing themselves from Durk, with some even cooperating with the authorities. The question now is, will Durk be able to turn things around, or is this the beginning of a very steep battle? With the feds on his trail and more evidence surfacing, only time will tell how this will all play out. The situation surrounding Lil Durk has been unraveling in a way that keeps fans and the public on edge, as fresh developments seem to worsen the case against him. The rapper, known for his contributions to drill music and his association with the OTF Only the Family label, has always been surrounded by controversy, but this new set of reports has escalated things significantly. The latest revelations about his legal troubles have left fans in disbelief, and it's becoming clear that what was once a narrative of personal and professional success has now morphed into a chaotic and possibly life-changing series of events. The most alarming of these new claims is that federal authorities believe Lil Durk may have paid to have two people targeted. The first target in this alleged plot was Stephon Mack, a figure tied to the death of Durk's brother, D-Thang. Mack has been accused of being involved in the fatal shooting that left D-Thang dead, and it seems that Durk may have been seeking retribution. While the rapper has never explicitly confirmed this theory, the feds are now reportedly connecting Durk to the plot, claiming that he may have provided the financial backing to have Mack dealt with. Whether Durk orchestrated this act himself or was merely part of a larger scheme, the implications are dire. The second person involved in this troubling situation is OTF Jam's baby mama. For those not familiar, OTF Jam is another figure closely associated with Durk's circle. He has been with Durk through thick and thin, but reports are now suggesting that he may have played a role in the snitching that could bring the rapper down. The feds believe that OTF Jam was the one who helped expose Durk's alleged involvement in criminal activities. This theory gained traction when it was revealed that Jam had been wearing a wire during his interactions with Durk, which could be the key to building a case against the rapper. The idea of a close associate of Durk, someone who was likely trusted, turning on him has sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. Fans, who have long admired Durk for his loyalty to his crew, are now left questioning the true nature of those around him. Is OTF Jam a snake in the grass, or is this all just an unfortunate misunderstanding? The feds certainly seem to believe there is more to the story, and they are reportedly relying on Jam's wire recordings to make their case against Durk. This revelation has added a layer of suspicion that fans can't ignore, and many are starting to look back at past events for clues as to who might have been involved in this alleged conspiracy. One piece of evidence that has added fuel to the fire is an old Instagram video that fans dug up. In the video, OTF Jam appears to be acting suspiciously, touching his jacket in a way that some fans interpreted as an attempt to conceal something, possibly a hidden microphone or recording device. In the video, Jam's behavior seems off, and this raised even more questions about his loyalty to Durk. While the video is far from definitive proof of Jam's involvement, it certainly adds to the growing theory that he may have been working with authorities to bring down Durk and his crew. The public's obsession with these small details, like the way Jam touches his jacket, only intensifies the speculation, leaving fans with more doubts than answers. As if this wasn't enough, new reports suggest that OTF Jam was later found hiding out in an Atlanta house after the feds started closing in on him. It's been said that members of OTF, Durk's own crew, allegedly located Jam and punished him for his role in betraying Durk. While the specifics of this punishment remain unclear, the fact that Jam was reportedly hiding and avoiding the people he had once called family shows the depth of the betrayal. He has remained silent since this incident, with no public statements or explanations. Fans have been left wondering if Jam will ever address the situation or if he will remain in the shadows, hoping that the storm will pass. In addition to Jam's alleged betrayal, another rapper, Brick Baby, might have accidentally brought even more heat onto Durk. In a recent interview, Brick Baby mentioned that Durk had allegedly slid for King Von, the late rapper and Durk's close friend. He suggested that Durk was involved in a hit which allegedly took the life of Lil Pab. This comment didn't go unnoticed, and it's being speculated that this statement could have drawn the attention of federal authorities to Durk once again. The feds reportedly have their sights set on Durk, and Brick Baby's words only added fuel to their investigation. The connection between Durk's name and these violent events is becoming clearer, but it remains to be seen how much truth there is to these claims. The legal situation for Durk worsened even further when it was revealed that his co-defendant OTF Vaughn filed for protective custody. This took place when the two men appeared in court together, and it raised eyebrows. Why would someone who was supposedly in the same situation as Durk seek to separate themselves from the general population in prison? The act of filing for protective custody sparked rumors that Vaughn might not be as loyal as Durk once believed. This sent shockwaves through Durk's camp, with friends and supporters questioning Vaughn's actions. Durk's close friend Bezu went live to address the situation, expressing frustration with the rumors and false accusations surrounding the case. He defended Durk, stating that the rapper was a man of honor who would never back down from a challenge and that he wasn't involved in anything that would require him to go into protective custody. Despite the intense public scrutiny and growing legal challenges, Durk has remained resilient. In a phone call from federal prison, Durk made it clear that he wasn't seeking protective custody like his co-defendant Vaughn. The phone call, which was shared with the public, revealed Durk's determination to stay strong and remain positive despite the overwhelming odds against him. Durk's words showed that he wasn't backing down from the fight, and he vowed to stay true to his beliefs, refusing to be separated from the rest of the population in prison. But not everyone is supportive of Durk's stance. DJ Academics, a well-known media personality, criticized Durk's decision to release the phone call. Academics felt that Durk's comments might have been misinterpreted and could backfire. He argued that while Durk's message might have been intended to show strength, it came across as something that might fuel more negativity. Academics warned that anything Durk said would go viral and that the public's perception of him could be swayed by how the message was framed. It's a tough situation for Durk, as even the smallest misstep could have massive repercussions. As things continue to spiral, it's clear that the situation is far from over. Fans are anxiously waiting for more details to emerge, and many are hoping for a resolution that doesn't involve Durk facing serious consequences. However, with each new development, it seems like the rapper's fate is becoming more uncertain. Only time will tell how this story plays out, but one thing is for sure: Lil Durk is in the midst of one of the most intense legal battles of his career, and the pressure is mounting from all sides. But it doesn't stop there. After the feds started closing in on Jam, he reportedly went into hiding in an Atlanta house, where some OTF members allegedly punished him for snitching. Since then, Jam hasn't said a word. On top of this, another rapper, Brick Baby, might have accidentally drawn more federal attention to Durk when he made comments about how Durk had a hand in a hit that left Lil Pab dead, potentially leading the authorities even closer to him. Things got even more intense when it was reported that OTF Vaughn, Durk's co-defendant, asked for protective custody when they both showed up in court. This led to some backlash, with Durk's friend Bezu calling out the rumors and defending Durk. In a live video, Bezu made it clear that people shouldn't judge the situation without knowing the full story, and he emphasized that Durk and his crew have honor and stand for more than just street life. Then DJ Academics jumped in, saying that Durk's decision to speak out on a phone call from prison wasn't the best move. Academics felt that anything Durk says will blow up, and this phone call, where Durk defended his honor, might not have come across in the way Durk intended. But despite the backlash, Durk is staying strong, standing by his beliefs and trying to stay positive.